Let's be honest, there's no such thing as a non-creepy break-in. If someone's sneaking into your home at night, that's already nightmare material. But this case goes far beyond the usual unsettling encounter. It crosses every line imaginable. One night, a man disguised as a technician began breaking into homes in a quiet neighborhood. But he wasn't there to rob or vandalize. No, his motive was far more disturbing. He was targeting sleeping babies. After quietly entering, he would stare at the infants, then hack into the baby monitors, gaining remote access to the camera feed. It wasn't about theft. It was about control, surveillance, and pure creep factor. Terrified parents discovered the footage on their monitors and immediately turned it over to police. Thanks to the sharp resolution of their high-quality security cameras, investigators got a clear image of the intruder's face, ultimately putting a stop to his disturbing spree. If there's one thing this chilling incident teaches us, it's this: investing in a high-quality baby monitor or security camera isn't just smart. It could be the very thing that protects your family from dangers you never imagined. There are countless mysteries in this world that defy logic, and oddly enough, one of the most common involves baby monitors. Among the strangest and most consistently reported sightings, weird objects rocking or floating above cribs, visible only on camera. In one particularly chilling case, a mother noticed a strange, metallic-looking object swaying back and forth above her baby on the monitor. Disturbed, she rushed into the room, only to find absolutely nothing there. No object, no movement, no explanation. Yet when she returned to the monitor, it was still there, rocking ominously over her child. The object never appeared to the naked eye, only through the lens of the baby monitor. So what was it? A glitch? A figment of faulty hardware? Or something more paranormal? For those of us without a background in science or the supernatural, it's impossible to say. But whatever it was, it certainly wasn't normal. Maybe it was a ghost. Maybe something from another plane of existence. It's strange how technology can sometimes reveal things that our eyes can't. Creepy? Absolutely. But also kind of amazing. In a world full of unexplainable phenomena, maybe baby monitors are accidentally giving us a window into something beyond. And honestly, that's both terrifying and fascinating. It turns out, Slender Man might not be the only eerie, slim-bodied entity haunting our nightmares. A chilling new image could be the first real evidence of his terrifying female counterpart, Slender Woman. While reviewing footage from their baby monitor one morning, a young couple noticed something disturbing. In the dead of night, a bizarrely proportioned figure appeared beside their baby's crib for just a moment, less than 2 seconds, before vanishing without a trace. The figure's movement was so unnaturally fast, it nearly went unnoticed, even by the high-resolution monitor. The couple was relieved to find their child unharmed, still peacefully asleep, but what they captured on camera has haunted them ever since. The being didn't move like a human. Its limbs were too long, its body too thin, and the way it glided in and out of frame seemed almost inhuman. The footage is too clear to be blamed on distortion or glitching. So what did they see? Could this be our first documented sighting of a slender woman? An entity just as horrifying as the infamous Slender Man? Whatever it was, it's clear. Something visited that crib, and it wasn't human. Some people believe children can see and sense things that adults simply can't. Whether it's ghosts, aliens, or something far more unexplainable, parents have long shared eerie stories of their kids speaking to invisible figures, reacting to things no one else can see, or simply acting strange. Take this chilling example: a photo captured of a child who woke up in the dead of night, climbed out of bed, and stood silently staring into the darkness. But what was he looking at? According to the parents, this unnerving behavior happens every single night, always around the same late hour. Even more disturbing, the home's security camera sometimes catches a faint, almost ghost-like shape near the child, barely visible and impossible to fully make out. The child won't, or can't, explain what's happening. He just stares. The parents are left with more questions than answers. What is waking him up? What is he seeing? And why always at the same time? Despite their efforts, they're no closer to an explanation. And maybe that's the most terrifying part. Some things simply defy logic. Maybe we're not meant to understand them. Maybe it's better that way. Now we shift to a very different kind of fear. One that strikes the heart of every parent: the fear of real, physical harm to your child. Every parent's duty is to keep their little ones safe. But that becomes incredibly difficult when curiosity takes over. Captured on a baby monitor, this shocking footage shows twin toddlers left unsupervised in their room. At first, it's innocent, just two boys exploring, being playful. But then, they decide to climb a dresser. And without anyone there to stop them, disaster strikes. The dresser tips over, crashing down and pinning one of the twins underneath. What followed is nothing short of remarkable. The uninjured twin, just 2 years old, panics but doesn't give up. He tugs, pushes, and tries everything he can think of to help his brother. Finally, he manages to shift the dresser just enough to free him, miraculously avoiding a tragic outcome. This is the kind of footage no parent ever wants to see. While it raises serious questions about supervision, we can all breathe a sigh of relief that both boys were ultimately okay. It's a chilling reminder of how quickly things can go wrong, and how even the tiniest heroes can rise in the moment. If you're someone who believes in disturbing patterns, then the growing trend of strangers hacking into baby monitors is downright terrifying. But one unidentified man took this already creepy phenomenon to a whole new level. After bypassing the monitor's security, the man gained full control and began remotely moving the camera around the baby's room, before suddenly shouting loud enough to wake the sleeping child. The shocked parents rushed in, only to hear an unfamiliar voice coming through the monitor. And then, it got worse. He started talking directly to them. The realization hit hard. This wasn't just some tech glitch. This was a living, breathing creep who had hijacked their baby's monitor, not just to spy on their child, but to interact and instill fear. Needless to say, the parents removed the device immediately, putting an end to this disturbing intrusion. But the question remains: what kind of person does this? Spying on a sleeping baby is already deeply unsettling. But waking them up and speaking to the parents through the monitor? That's a whole new level of horrifying. As this troubling trend of monitor hacking continues, one thing is clear: technology can sometimes open doors we were never meant to unlock, and some people will walk right through them with the worst intentions. A nightmare you never knew you had as a parent. You glance at the baby monitor to check on your child, only to spot something utterly chilling. Another baby is lying beside yours. The problem? You've never seen this baby before in your life. What would you do? Like any caring parent, this couple rushed to the crib, but what they found was even more unsettling. Their baby was sleeping peacefully, alone. No sign of the mystery baby anywhere. Confused but relieved, they returned to the monitor, and there it was again. The ghostly child, lying next to theirs. This bizarre phenomenon kept happening. On the screen, the second baby appeared clearly, but in person, there was no trace. No blankets moved, no cold breeze, just an invisible presence that left them rattled. The couple now firmly believes their home is haunted by the spirit of a child. Thankfully, this ghost baby hasn't shown signs of violence yet. But for parents, unless you're trying to raise Casper the Friendly Ghost, this probably isn't the kind of co-sleeping arrangement any parent would welcome. We've all dealt with the occasional technical glitch. Your radio suddenly changes stations, your TV signal drops out, or your phone picks up a random police transmission. Annoying, sure, but usually explainable. But what happens when there's no logical explanation? One young boy told his parents he kept hearing strange voices in his room after dark, whispers that sent shivers down his spine. His parents, having dealt with mixed signals before, assured him it was probably just interference picked up by the baby monitor. That is, until they checked the device and made a chilling discovery. The monitor hadn't been plugged in for several nights. Despite this, their son kept insisting the voices were real. He didn't know where they were coming from, only that they spoke in unsettling, otherworldly tones. Creepiest of all, he said they always seemed to come from nowhere, as if the voices were floating in the air. Sure. But the irrational part, the one that wakes up at 3 a.m. and listens for sounds in the dark, starts to wonder. What if he really did hear dead people? Coincidence? Misunderstood tech? Or something far more paranormal at play? The answer remains unsettlingly unclear. How do you handle a ghostly babysitter trying to force you out of your own home? That's the chilling dilemma one young couple faced after discovering 3 deep purple scratches on the cheek of their 1-year-old daughter. It sounds like something from a horror film, but this is no fiction. Shaken by the unexplained injuries, the mother immediately reviewed footage from the baby monitor in her fiancé's mother's guest house. What she found left her unsettled. A faint, ghostly male figure appearing to walk past the crib before vanishing into thin air. Though the footage is blurry and inconclusive, the physical evidence, the scratches, couldn't be ignored. The couple became convinced they were dealing with something far more sinister than an overactive imagination, a violent entity with erratic behavior. They've even begun calling the spirit schizophrenic due to his unpredictable actions. Sometimes he leaves the baby alone. Other times, he seems to lash out like during her nap when the scratches appeared. For any parent, the thought of an unseen presence lurking near their child, possibly harming them, is beyond terrifying. This so-called spirit babysitter isn't just uninvited, he's dangerous. One of the most unsettling things about reviewing baby monitor footage is knowing you might witness something disturbing and be powerless to stop it. And when those strange events seem to come from beyond our world, well, what can you do? That's exactly what one couple faced. Each night, they performed their routine check of the baby monitor, hoping to figure out the source of the eerie noises coming from their child's room. But what they found was far from normal, a glowing orb slowly rocking back and forth inside the crib. It didn't resemble light from a toy, a reflection, or anything explainable. It hovered and swayed gently, too precise, too intentional. And no matter what the couple did, unplugging devices, removing objects, even switching rooms, the orb kept coming back. Night after night. Same crib, same glowing presence. The parents were understandably shaken. They couldn't explain it, couldn't stop it, and worst of all, couldn't ignore it. So what was it?